The banana's potential as a ready-packaged snack-sized source of energy hasn't gone unnoticed by sportsmen.
I've worked with lots of different sports people, and it's very difficult to find somebody who doesn't actually enjoy eating a banana.
They've got a good taste, they're sweet, it's definitely my favourite type of fruit. I'll eat a banana over anything else.
Banana's a great source of energy. It's full of carbohydrate and it's very, very low in fat.
And the amazing thing about bananas is that the carbohydrates change as it ripens, making the energy easier to digest.
When you've got an unripe banana, it's got a lot more of the complex or starchy carbohydrate there, and that takes much longer to be digested.
As bananas ripen, the starch in the bananas is attacked by the enzymes in the banana, and those enzymes turn the starch into sugar. So basically, the banana is digesting its own starch so that you don't have to.
This makes it perfect for keeping energy levels up during endurance events, such as the Ironman, with competitors swimming over 2 miles, cycling over 100 miles, and then running a marathon.
For sports people, it's hugely important that they have good stores of glycogen in their muscles. Glycogen is just a posh word for stored carbohydrate. There's something called hitting the wall in the marathon, which is when you've run out of your glycogen stores completely, you're relying on your fat, and you'll see people slow up, really slow up.
What they need is an instant boost of energy.
I think if you're doing a long event where you might be out there for anywhere between 7 and 14 hours, and you suddenly see a water stop or where they're handing out bananas, then you take it on board and it just keeps you going till the next stop.
But as well as being a great snack for sporty types, bananas are helping those who aren't mad on fruit up their intake.
Bananas are the foundations of all smoothies, really. The fruit is naturally sweet and enhances the other flavours in strawberries and raspberries, which aren't quite as naturally as sweet as bananas, and bananas give a fantastic texture to the smoothie as well.
So whatever flavour your smoothie, it's probably got a banana in there somewhere.
Yeah, I love smoothies. I love banana smoothies especially, actually. I have them all the time. It's weird that you've asked me.
I love smoothies. They're very nutritious and they're very easy to digest.
It's the simplest way to fill my stomach up in the morning when I'm not feeling too good. It gives me a high boost of energy and tastes damn great, and I love the texture.
I think that smoothies can actually be quite useful addition in a diet, particularly for people who are not very into their fruit and also vegetables.
And the bananas in smoothies are good news, because as well as being great energy providers, bananas are also a source of vitamins and minerals.
Bananas provide about 10% of your daily requirement for vitamin C, for magnesium and for potassium, so they're a very good source of these very important nutrients.
And the potassium in bananas can help keep your heart healthy.
In the UK, we tend to have quite a high salt diet. That means a lot of sodium. Now, potassium is a very good counterbalance for sodium, and there's quite a lot of evidence that shows that if you lower your sodium intake and increase your potassium intake, blood pressure will go down, and that's very beneficial.
And there's one group of people for whom bananas are particularly good news.
There's some really deep connections between bananas and childhood. Many Western children were weaned on bananas. It was the first solid food. We take them off the milk by mashing a banana into it.
They're very easy to eat. You unpeel them, you give them to her, she shoves them in her mouth and she's happy.
The good thing about bananas is they fill them up.
He's obsessed by bananas, and he likes to keep all his bananas very organised. He eats 2 or 3 a day, don't you?
Bananas are really useful food for children. They don't have the acid properties of citrus fruit. They are well digested, provided they're ripe, and they've got all the nutrients in them. So I think they're a really useful and very important source of fruit and vegetables for kids.
And even more nutritious than the sweet variety is the savoury plantain. Now, I can guarantee you none of my friends would know how to cook a plantain. So if anybody else is the same, here's a quick, easy supper introduction to cooking with plantains. And the most important thing to remember is to think of these things as a vegetable, not a fruit. So the first thing we're going to do is prepare the chicken. And I've got a breast of chicken here, and I'm just going to slash it very gently into the flesh, making plenty of incisions right the way across the meat. Once you've cut your chicken breast like that, we need to make the marinade. And we're going to use for that some chopped garlic, some chopped chilli, give it a bit of a spice, there we go, some lime juice, and finally, little bit of oil. And then take the chicken breast and work that marinade into all those incisions. All of those chopped ingredients are now sat in the incisions of the chicken, and it will give it a really good flavour. Pop the chicken straight in the pan. Whilst that's cooking, it's time to turn our attention to the plantains. The thing about a plantain is it looks like a banana, but it eats and it cooks completely differently. And the main reason for that is that in a banana, 95% of the starch, as the banana ripens, converts to sugar. In a plantain, only 5% of starch contained in the plantain converts to sugar. So it's not a sweet fruit, and it never will be, however ripe it gets. So you've got to think of it as a vegetable, and if you're going to think of it as any vegetable, think of it as a potato. So what we're actually going to do here is pan fry it. I'm just going to cut it into sections like that, and then cut those down into slices. Right, same pan as we do the chicken. Put a little bit more oil in the pan. Just lay your plantain in to the pan like that. The plantain's had about 2 minutes on one side, and now if we turn it over, you'll see that it's starting to take on a lovely golden brown colour. And you'll know it's cooked because it will give a little bit in the middle, but it'll also take on that lovely colour. And when it's coloured both sides, it's absolutely ready to go. Chicken is absolutely cooked. There we go.